Hi, my name's PJ Lynch and thank you for joining me on the Big Picture podcast. We're going to be looking at some more highlights from the Children's Books Ireland Conference 2016. Hope you enjoy.
Mum breathed deeply. I have to go into hospital, she said. What kind of hospital? I asked. Please let it not be a top security mental hospital. A hospital, Mum said, with sick people and nurses. Your mum needs to have an operation, Susie said. Surgery? On your head? My head? Mum said, looking at me like I was the crazy one. No, not my head, she said. Where? I said. St. Mary's, Mum said. No, where? Where on your body? Oh, Mum said. Where? Mum coughed and closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they were all watery. Then she started saying some nonsense words. I have some rumour. You have a rumour? I said. Is it spreading? Nobody laughed. Where is it? I asked again. Breast cancer, Mum said in this really small voice. It's in mine. No, I shouted. No, anything but that, anything but the B word. How could you do this to me? Not everybody would be saying the word breast all the time, as if it were an ordinary everyday word like teapot. Why couldn't you have bowel cancer instead? On second thoughts, maybe not. I didn't want people imagining Mum on the loo. Lung cancer, maybe. Nope. Oh! Never mind.
Kind of, as the older brother again, started the charge with the book publishing and with getting involved in book publishing. I mean, was that how everyone was led to the O'Brien Press in a sense? Was that you were publishing with them? And things took from there? Because it's an extraordinary thing that all of you have been involved with O'Brien in such different ways.
What happened there was I answered an ad for a job at the O'Brien Press and got it. And that was back in 2001. And then Oisin came to their attention because he was pitching for art. He was pitching for illustration work, actually. And they said, oh, well, we've nothing for you to illustrate. And he's like, oh, well, funny you should say that, but I have things I can illustrate.
Well, I think they were looking for writers for the Flyer series. That's where they basically gave me a format. It said 1,500 words, chapters, write a story. And I wrote 3. So they were the first 2 branded books, plus one that they rejected. Which was a story about a mousetrap trying to break into it. I'm serious. Mousetrap trying to break into it in Mouse's home disguised as a vacuum cleaner salesman. And
we had to fight hard about that in the editorial board.
So that was how the first 2 granddads were commissioned, and they said, have you written anything longer? And at this point I'd been pitching my novels to just agents at that point. I hadn't even got to publishers. And I had them with me, as this happened when we met. So that was how the first 3 novels got contracted.
And then I took a summer job in O'Brien for 10 years. And after I didn't like that. I swear to God, I was like, I'm here for 3 months and then I'm gone. And then after I was like, I'm here for 6 months. And then don't get used to me. And then I ended up staying for 10 years.
So what did you start off doing and how did that 10 years go? How did you progress through?
I wasn't interested in writing at all. My degree was in animal behaviour and welfare, much like I never used it. And I really wanted to study sharks, and I did a brief volunteer placement that was very cracking. That's as far as my shark career went.
Mommy McGann has sunk a lot of money into degrees that were never used. A lot of money.
Can I just point out, when Erica says she dabbled, in the whole, she went and she swam, she worked with sharks in the Bimini Islands, she, having found out that sharks were just too boring for her, she decided to try writing.
Not exciting enough, I really was interested in writing as a kid. I was going to be a writer, this was my big thing, and then I fell out of it in my teens because I stopped reading altogether, so stopped both. I never really read in my teens at all. I didn't take it up until 20 or something, didn't start reading again. So then I never thought of writing at all, and then I think I was like maybe 28 or something like that. I know she had been writing for a while then, and I had a kind of story in my head. But I don't know if I would have tried it straight
Yeah, I
away
was just gonna
Oisin
say
can't
that.
be doing it. So it's actually like if he's convinced.
Yeah, but she
like,
can
I
write
can
one.
do it. It can't be that
I
hard.
very much got that
Just sit down
impression.
and write it
I was like, how hard can it be?
We all are.
So this is published by O'Brien Press, and it is an adaptation of a classic tale for grown-ups that I think a lot of people are familiar with. But anyone who isn't, it's basically just about an explorer. That's him on the right there, and he just goes off on voyages looking for adventures and ends up in a lot of bizarre situations. So the main brief that O'Brien gave me was just, it's Gulliver, anything goes, so just have fun with it and get into the details as much as you want. If you want to put a pink elephant in there, by all means, go for it. So really it was just a great experience. They were able to give me, it's not like a normal picture book in that there's quite a lot of text, so they just were able to send me a file and say, this is the layout we're looking at, so whatever you think. So this would have all been done digitally. That's where I do all my rough sketches, and then I work on them once we're all happy with the flow and what's going on in each image and so forth. So I think there was something like 38 spreads in total plus the cover, so it was a very in-depth kind of long-term project, but just so much fun. So alright, we'll just end it there. So.
Personally, obviously we loved you, PJ. Ryan Tuberty yesterday was a great session. But I love the four Catherines as well. Katherine Woodfine and Katherine Woodfine talking about process. And I think, because writing is such a solitary thing. It's lovely to hear people talking about how they work.
Well, that's the thing about editors. I always think they're gifts from God, because I just think someone paid to look at your work and make it really, really, really good. But some authors really don't like the editorial process. They don't like being told to change things. You can be it's a big scale, and we all fall on it somewhere. So I suppose my question is, how much do you like it? And do you like your editor? Do you sometimes kill your editor? How does it work for you?
We couldn't admit to that, even if we did.
You could, it's Ireland, you can say what you want.
No, I actually really quite like the editing process.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something brilliant about you sort of working on this sort of I don't know, uninformed thing, if you like, and sending it off to somebody who then can come back and say, change this and change that, or think about this or think about that. And sometimes they come up with things that you would never have thought of. Yeah. And yet, as soon as they said them to you, you're like, oh, yes, obviously. That is so clear to me now that somebody said it to me, but it was not there at all previously.
I'm a ruminator. I'm a very quiet, I'm a poet, so we think a lot. We think a lot about our thoughts. We think a lot about our thoughts, and then we don't really know what we're doing for a really long time, sometimes even after the book is finished. So it's really hard to talk about it, because it does feel like it bursts a bubble when you start letting go of that magic. You want to keep it.
And Kate, you recently won an Emmy. She asked me not to bring it up, but I was like, I'm of course going to bring it up, because you also work on plays. So I imagine that's hugely collaborative, and there's a lot of feedback that goes on there. So I suppose what would you find to be the main differences between coming from working on plays to just working on your own secret Mind Palace books?
So I think with plays and film, there is this feeling that anybody can change it at any time. It's not yours. You're the writer, but you don't own the story. But then the Emmy thing is a bit of a joke. It was it was for this thing called Oculus Rift, which is virtual reality sort of headset that you wear on your face. The idea is it's immersive film. And with that, I wrote the early drafts of a short film for it. And in it, a hedgehog falls in love with a balloon. And he kills all the balloons he loves. And I'd just broken up with a boyfriend. And at the end, it was just going to say, sometimes love is bad for you. But they were like, right, or one of the balloons escapes, and then it comes back in and brings in a tortoise who can hug the hedgehog. So now it's a happy story, and that's the story that won the Emmy.
That's what's really special about the CBI Conference is you get people who wouldn't normally be around. You get people from abroad coming into Dublin, and you just wouldn't have that opportunity otherwise. So it's a great thing that the conference can do.
Yeah, and then by total contrast, we had Morizette from Belfast, who writes in Irish, and we know more to see her books around. Her book was shortlisted this year, but to hear her story about, she called it herself, about the collage of being an artist, where you pick up a little bit of everything in your life, and then you put it into the art you're making.
So this one came out in 2012, which was the centenary of the Titanic. So that was my first book. Before that, I started off by writing a column for Untitled, and that's the start of me, really. So I started off with writing that kind of more journalistic style and stuff, and then that was my first kids book in 2012.
Why would it be important for you as a young writer to come to conferences?
Well, I'm glad you think I'm young. That was the first thing.
Yeah, it's all relative. Certainly relative to me, you are.
No, I think it's really, it's a one. It felt like a real leg up for me, to be honest with you, because just having that kind of a platform, speaking to a room of people who are all passionately into this, making books in all of their different ways, just amazing actually. So it's partly that platform for yourself, but also then just getting to meet people, making those connections. There's an awful lot of this book world feels like it's an awful lot about personal connections, so lovely in that sense, and just the inspiration.
And her life was really fascinating.
And of course we can identify with that. We're all doing it. We disguise it as well as we can, but we are always doing that.
Who said it today? Some of the writers are great thieves.
Yeah.
It's true. There's a lot of robbing going on.
Before we go, we're about to go into Oliver Jeffers' event, Oliver Jeffers and Sam Whitson. Tell me about your own next project. Siobhan, I know you have a book coming out pretty soon.
I've got a book coming on Thursday, being launched on Thursday in Books Upstairs.
Which I read, and it's
Miranda.
really good.
Yeah.
And what about you, Patricia?
I'm getting stuck in at the moment. Galway won the European City of Culture for 2020, and we're doing a big children's writers project, and we're going to build the mythical island Hy-Brasil and have it appear in 2020. So quite a lot to do there.
Wow.
Yeah, building Hy-Brasil, that's a big deal. Yeah.
It's going to
Rabbit could hear Bear's song from his burrow. Said Rabbit. Making a snowman does seem to be... Rabbit had trouble saying the next word because he'd never used it before. Fun? Ha! I shall make an even better snowman. But first, for energy, Rabbit ate lots and lots and lots of the honey and frozen salmon and delicious beetle's eggs that he'd stolen off Bear during the storm. Then he did a little poo and ate it. This rather embarrassing habit was the reason Rabbit never invited people over for tea. I forgot to say thanks for the carrot, said Bear's voice right behind Rabbit. Ah! Rabbit jumped his own height in fright and scrambled out of the burrow. Oh, Bear, you're welcome. I say, Rabbit, did you just eat your own poo? Said Bear, wondering if she'd seen right. Ah, said Rabbit, yes, a little bit. A little bit of your own poo, asked Bear, wondering if she'd heard right. Shh, said Rabbit, glancing around. Look, all rabbits do, it's perfectly normal. For a rabbit, maybe, said Bear. That'll do it, thanks.
There's a quote at the start of the book, and it's said that after food and shelter and medicine, stories and things lead equals nowhere, and I really truly believe that. But this quote at the start of the book, Sam and I both agree came to epitomise this collaboration that we were doing.
If you don't know Ruitzer, I really recommend. She's fascinating. Not a lot of her work's in print anymore. She's an activist and a poet, and she's a really interesting character in writer.
Okay. Now we had our concept and the hard work of the project nailed. What?
The ingredients.
The ingredients, and basically I think the end goal. And one of the first drawings we made was that we knew we wanted to make a project about the power of imagination and storytelling, using the history of literature as our canvas, and that would be using Sam's words mixed with my drawings somehow. So
I drew that.
So over email and phone, we kind of really elaborated on the poem and figured out what because I still think of it as a poem rather than as a manuscript.
Yeah, I think it's
so we got the main ethos of what that would be. We sat beside each other and was like, okay, well if I draw this and you draw that, how will that work? And so here you start to see the very, very processes of, well, how do we make these typographic landscapes fit the form of the book? So these are some early examples of just scanning both of our works, looking for the right kind of a texture, the right kind of a shape and so forth. And
Yeah, we were basically learning how to draw together. So Oliver began to work out how to translate his drawings into a language that would then become type.
The next couple are just the process of slightly working it up, and then Sam taking these lines and into InDesign and laying everything out. And then in the next one you see what the final result is.
Wow.
But this is for the C. Every red box is a text box.
Oh my God!
Go to the next one just to get a sense of scale.
Oh God!
One more.
Oh. Is that right? I love giving talks to students, especially graphic design students, because they get small.
This one is how the climactic spread just came around. It's sort of just a few process shots. So we wanted it to be this explosion of creativity and freedom and imagination. And the very early stage was more like an abstract piece of art than anything else. But we kept talking about this word of stories and everything. So I also love maps and I love playing around with maps. So we decided that the epicenter should be a globe of some sort, and all of these things should be spiraling off of it, and they should be words and images. So this is the base layer of the collage that I did, and then we sort of started sketching over it and laying out the text. And just to sort of show you, I'm doing this, the collage and the drawing aspect at the exact same time Sam is working on this, and then. Yeah, I think because they're then the next one is when we put it all together, what it actually looks like. And
I think that is at that point. I think we got to a point where the collaboration became fairly hard to define who was doing what in certain ways, wasn't it?
Yeah, very hard.
Which is interesting.
Because we were both writing and we were both illustrating.
You know, a child with books is the term of a child, so we got quite paternal about it, really, didn't we?
Yeah, it really was, and it was this level of trust in each other that the project was the more important thing rather than individual egos. Well, you know, it's funny. It's like so. I also have one foot in the fine art world, and the fine art industry compared to the publishing industry are very, very different. And publishing is a huge collaboration. It really is, because we in the fine art world, you make a painting. You give it to a gallery, stick it on the wall, and that's the original thing. But in the publishing industry, there are so many people involved. It's like the film industry as well. But in the publishing industry, there's the designers, there's the editors, there's the actual printers, there's the people who then sell the books, who market the books, and who put it in the hands of the schools and libraries and bookshops all over the place. And really, everybody has to be involved the whole way along. And so it's all well and good for Sam and I to sit up here and like, yeah, we did this really cool thing, whereas in actual fact it was a whole bunch of people did this really cool thing.
Well, you know, conferences is you come as a writer and you're looking for the boring part of the conference that you can skip out on, you know, because I've never been to Dublin before. I want to know about Dublin, and I came here on the Saturday and I kept waiting for the boring part, and it just kept getting better and better, and I stayed through the whole day, and I thought, okay, well, Sunday, you know, I'll have to take some time off to see Dublin, but I did my speaking for a while, and that you know, that kept me busy, and then I'm waiting for the boring part again. It's the end of the conference, I'm still here, I haven't seen Dublin. That's how good the conference has been.
Oh, well, that's a great endorsement. How do you feel about it, Kate?
I really like the subject of collaboration, because I feel like so many of my projects lately have been about collaboration and not really necessarily having a science around that or a rationale or a logic. So I really like the different perspectives about how these things can happen and all the beautiful work that can come out of it. It's been really, really interesting, very inspiring. I really want to write something.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that.
Yeah, I don't really have that nugget, but it's like, it'll come.
It gets you wound up to go do something.
Yeah, just something. Just like that blanket energy, like creating something. Find a collaborator and just go out.
Well, you couldn't have a better endorsement of a conference than that. Thanks a million, guys.
Thank you.